Alright, so I want to make a video about this Bible verse. And this verse basically talks about, I'm going to let you read it for yourself. It basically talks about you can't live for two worlds, right? You can't live for money and you can't live for God. You can't live for material things and you can't live for God. You can't live for your friends and you can't live for God. You can't live for the world and you can't live for God, right? It's contradiction. You can't live for two different things if you're trying to live for God, right? The world tells you, hey, go follow your heart. The Bible says the heart is deceitful over all things, right? The world will go tell you, oh, go have fun while you're young. The Bible teaches you to flee from youthful lust. The Bible teaches that, hey, if you want to follow Jesus, you're going to have to pick up your cross and deny yourself. The world tells you to express yourself. The world tells you that you have to or that you don't have to follow a list of rules. The Bible teaches that, hey, you don't have to follow that list of rules. But if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. The Bible doesn't give you a rule book. It gives you guidance, and it basically gives you rules, not necessarily to keep you in bound, but to keep you free, right? I was given this analogy one time, that if a horse is locked in a cage, right, or a dog's locked in a cage, right, it might have more free will if it's locked in the cage and can do whatever it wants, or it could be with the owner where it gives the dog rules, and it could be outside the cage, running free, right? When we're with God, we're no longer in that cage of sin, right? Even though we might have some free will with our sin, even though when we don't live for God, we have that free will to do whatever we want, it's so much more better to be bound by the chains of God, right? To make ourselves useful to God, right? And to make ourselves servants to God, rather than just doing whatever we want, right? Because the Bible teaches that whoever the Son sets free is free indeed, right? So you're no longer bound to that addiction that you used to have. You're no longer bound to that depression that you used to have, that anxiety you used to have. Now you're bound to Jesus, right? You're choosing to switch out your chains from chains of sin to chains of righteousness. And I'd rather be a slave to righteousness than a slave to sin, right? So you can't live in both worlds. You can't have both chains on. You can't live for sin and also live for righteousness. It's contradictory, right? They go against each other. It's either you choose to live for Jesus and follow him, or you choose to follow the devil and go down that path. The Bible teaches that not a lot of people, very few people, narrow is the road that leads to life, and very few find it. But broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many will go down that path. God bless you guys, and please spread the gospel, spread the good news about Jesus Christ.